Chris Stokel-Walker. He joins us now live from Newcastle in the UK. Chris, good to have you on the show. I can understand, I don't know much about this. I'm fascinated to learn more from you. I can understand a cyber attack on a particular target, but when you're talking about disabling nearly 3/4 of a vital industry, this is quite serious. Is it that easy?
It is in many ways that easy because of the way that our world has become increasingly reliant on technology and the ability to do anything basically with computers. So you can imagine that the transport of fuel, the organization of it, the actual pumping of it to customers and the payment systems are all controlled in some way by computers, and therefore they are susceptible to hacking. Of course, interesting to note that this isn't the first time that this has happened to Iran. As you mentioned, they've had previous issues around fuel stations also last year in sort of mid-2022. The same groups, Predatory Sparrow, had attacked a steelmaking plant with some pretty catastrophic conclusions. And if you look back further in history, it does seem as if Iran is a little bit more susceptible than most countries to this, because we obviously have also the Stuxnet worm back in 2010, which managed to put a significant dent in Iran's nuclear capabilities and its progression towards actually enriching uranium there. So it does seem like this is something that Iran is particularly susceptible to. Maybe it's because the hackers have kind of realized that they're a little weaker here than most other countries and have realized that's a way to try and get in and keep these people in check.
I want to read out a statement that the group claims to be behind the attack. He says that we, Jonjeshke Darende, carried out another cyber attack today, taking out a majority of the gas pumps throughout Iran. According to an Israeli media outlet, they actually claim that this group has links to Israel. We know that Israel is believed to have carried out alleged assassinations against scientists, and you made a reference to cyber attacks targeting the country's nuclear program. The question I want to ask you, Chris, is when we're seeing conflicts like this, whether it's Gaza, Hamas, possibly Taiwan, China, do you feel that this type of capability or cyber warfare is the new frontier in terms of conflicts amongst not only state actors, but also non-state actors?
Yeah, I think it's a way to try and avoid it actually reaching the real world and conflict kind of escalating in some ways. As we saw back in 2010 with the Stuxnet attack, it was an attempt to try and head off that perceived risk in real life to kind of stymie and slow down Iranian nuclear development. Here, it appears to be a way of kind of keeping Iran in check and making sure that they don't progress too far in taking one side or the other. It could be said if they were actually linked to Israel. I think it is always worth taking claims of attribution with a grain of salt, particularly when you're thinking about someone trying to profess to be a world-leading hacking group and actually aligned to other people. We do believe, for what it's worth, that the group are perhaps state-sponsored in some way. That is in part because of the messages that they send out afterwards and the way that they are keen to justify that these things are carried out in a sort of very precise, controlled manner. The statement that you read went on to talk about how the cyber attack was carried out in a controlled manner to avoid potential damage to emergency services. So there is this element here of these people aren't just kind of kids in their bedroom trying to wreak havoc. There's an idea that they're trying to do some sort of precision-based attack. But yeah, this does seem to be an increasing element of how these things are encountered and worn out on the cyberspace warfare.
Great stuff there, Chris. I do appreciate the explanation. Chris Stokel-Walker joining us live now for the NewsHour. Appreciate it.